everyone. Good evening and welcome to another fantastic edition of Conversation with the Love Crusader. Yeah. We are so happy that you have joined us today and you have made it a date with us. If you're coming across this platform for the first time, it is called Conversation with the Love Crusader. It's a platform where we talk about love, we talk about life, we talk about relationships, all in a fun way. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you would not miss any notification. We are always live every Sunday evening. That's why we call it your Sunday Tonic. We are also live on Facebook at Men Fences, and we are on Instagram at menfences_love, on TikTok at menfences_love. All right, so I have my guest minister, guest speaker, guest host, guest, what do you call him? Because he's a host in the background and he's guest sometimes on the show. The head is not beautiful when there's no crown worn. So the crown is here today. We have to behave, me and Titi, because these are the people that own us. There's a way they say it in my language, this is what that own us. So can tell us to get off this show, and that will be the end of the show. So we are going to be good girls today. But yeah, happy Father's Day!
Thank you.
We are celebrating all of the fathers in our lives worldwide, biological, spiritual, financial, I don't know, any other capacity. You are acting as a father. There are some first sons who are the fathers in their families, whatever capacity, where you are acting as the protector, as the provider, as the shield for your family. We celebrate you today. We appreciate your effort. Yes, so I like that. We doff our heart for you.
Thank you for your service to your family.
One particular bank said, our fathers are our ATM. Oh my goodness, that was so nice. Thank you all for all of the sacrifice.
Thank you.
And I know that we don't say it enough. The world might not celebrate, fathers enough.
Yeah.
But we want to let you know that this generation, we do celebrate you. We celebrate you. We understand and appreciate you. We know that there is no us without you. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and to my own husband.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day, everyone. Every father, it could be spiritual, it could be biological. We want to say a very big happy Father's Day to everyone.
All right. We've not introduced him, but that's him, Reverend Oko Joseph Ogboni, our guest.
I thought you said I can be a host sometimes.
And Titilayo, my co-host, is also here, and we're going to have a very good conversation about love and domestic abuse. We are actually going to focus more on the effect on men. You say men don't cry. Lots of men are crying in silence. Men don't crack. Black don't crack. But there are a lot of psychological issues surrounding abuse that men go through, even in relationships. All right. We're just going to play a video that is like that will build the background for the conversation today. And like I've said, please share the video, invite your friends. The information we share here, could save someone, could really save someone. So I'll just move aside, allow you get on with this video with us. And if you have questions, you have comments, please know that you're welcome to put in your comments. You're welcome to ask your questions even as we go along. When you type in your questions on Facebook, on YouTube, it comes directly into the studio and we can answer the questions. And if it's a question we cannot deal with right now, there's Love and Question Sunday coming up next week. We'll take it up as a major issue if need be. All right, let's go to the video, and from there we can move on. The types we have in the society and some of the causes of domestic violence. So we begin with a definition, and they have given me the honors of defining what domestic violence is. I will begin by saying that it's any violent or aggressive behavior in a home. Any violent or aggressive behavior in the home. But it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that because it goes beyond the physical or the aggression to what we call the manipulative attitude in a home. Okay. It is also a way of controlling people, controlling others, either manipulating them through words, manipulating them through violence, manipulating them in whatever way, just to control them, either to be a coward or to become fearful, or to get whatever it is you want from them. The marriage, the relationship, the partnership of a man and a woman was created by God for companionship, for love, right? For peace, for joy, for procreation, for everything that is good. So when it becomes a place where we're talking about violence, we're talking about fear, we're talking about someone being intimidated, it is no longer good. All right. So this violence can be between a spouse, a husband and a wife, a boyfriend and a girlfriend. That's one that used to shock me most. Yes, I think that's the word. It's annoying. Then it can also be a parent to a child.
Yes.
Some parents are abusive to their children. Okay, so we're just going to generally talk about the domestic. So when we say domestic, we're talking about the house, the violence that happens around the house. Have I defined it well? Thank you. Okay, so let's try to talk about some types of this domestic violence, so as to make our audience understand, what we're talking about. Certainly.
Yes. We can start with physical abuse.
Yeah.
Whereby you are fighting each other. There's a boxing ring in the house. And then there's verbal or emotional abuse, whereby one is saying hurtful things to the other, making the other person feel unworthy. And unfortunately, if it's a mother and a father saying or treating each other like that, and they are children, it leads to children that are going to take that behavior to school. They won't be happy. There will be moody kids, and there will be bullies at school, and there will be bully parents or abusers to their partners and all that. So yeah, let me say these two.
Okay. Yeah, so types that you know.
Yeah, there's got a lot as well. I think Mama mentioned, but in terms of relationship, like girlfriends and boyfriends, the boyfriend, hitting the girlfriend, others manipulating them into sexual activities.
Yes.
Even at home, like, married couples as well. You get like husbands that are very manipulative and will force the woman into,
Okay. Sister Naomi, I want to ask you a question. Based on what you just said now. Because people always ask this question.
Yeah.
Is there anything like rape between a husband and a wife?
I believe so, yes.
Definitely.
As long as you're being forced into sex, it's rape. Whether it's your husband or your wife. I know in African cultures, we pay, bride price. That does not give you the right to force your way to the woman. If she says no, no. No is no. You cannot force her into it. So if you do that, whether you have paid $1 million US dollars bride price, you don't have the right. You're still a criminal. You're a rapist.
Weird.
Not every
I like the
day.
word.
Not every
Criminal.
day. This sex thing.
Not
You
every
can't
day.
force.
That sex part is actually a part of abuse.
Sexual abuse.
Not just that, but all those people that have their own fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it annoys me because I feel like before you get married, these are things you should talk about. Now you didn't talk about it and you just come up one day and say, I think I like it when you flog me with... No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't be changing things. This is a contract. Let's stick to it. You can't be changing things in between, So I that one annoys me because sex is meant to be a beautiful thing. God created sex for us to enjoy ourselves and procreate. But when you're now changing it for it to just please only you, and I don't know how that's pleasing for you to be causing pain to someone else. Or like there was one I saw one time, the man was asking his wife to eat his poop. I know. Let's just let's not don't think about it. But that is the highest form of abuse
to
me.
So making a woman do anything sexual that she doesn't want to do, or even making a man do anything.
Yeah, we're forgetting the man.
Because yes. Let's talk about the fact that a lot of men are in abusive relationships.
Yeah, they die in silence.
Yes, their ego will not allow them come out to say, this woman is abusing me. But I have seen women who abuse men, and a particular lady one time that slapped the husband. You know, husband was talking to her, and then she slapped the man, and then the man came to pastor to report that the woman slapped him, and then the woman was like, "Hey, I want him to be a man. He's too dull."
Child.
What? Why did she marry
That if he had slapped her back, she would have felt some form of. Because she's been abusing him, she's been insulting him. This man is gentle, he keeps quiet, he doesn't want problem, and so she feels like he's too dull.
You see, that kind of woman needs deliverance. Are you serious?
No, the thing is, African women have got this mentality, like some of them, I don't know where it comes from. They believe like it's good for a man to hit you once in a while. To beat you once in a while.
Africa, yes.
Not only here, like everywhere. Even in Congo.
I've never heard of this.
They like it. I have heard some sort of beating. They feel good.
I've actually heard some African men say that, once in a while, you need to correct a woman by beating her. But listen to me, and I'm talking to you as someone who has gone through it. If you hit a woman, you make her more stubborn. She's not going to be more submissive. She's going to take the slap the first time. She's going to take the slap the second time. She might take it the third time. But you see, by the time you get it to the fourth time, she begins to develop a tough skin. And then one of these days, she's going to stab you.
Oh.
Unfortunately, a lot of stories, especially back home, here maybe not as common with women, but back home, in my country, a lot of women they are fed up. They are fed up, they are overreacting. So when the man slapped them, they return it with a stab. Yeah. A lot of them are in jail. In fact, they just sentenced one very good woman I used to know. They just sentenced her to jail for killing her husband.
Oh my God.
But what surprises me is that how can you, if you are a man, abusing your wife? I don't know what's going on in your mind.
I think they don't understand that they're abusing the wife.
Okay.
They are abusing
We are going to come to some of the causes, and then you understand better why some people do it. So we've established that we have physical abuse, there's sexual abuse, there's psychological abuse, and that includes gaslighting and emotional abuse. Do you know the meaning of gaslighting? One of my research, and I have this in a small pamphlet, when the women called me for a conference in Nigeria to come and speak about this domestic violence thing. It was in the course of that research I came across the word gaslighting.
Okay.
And I'm like, I've never heard this one before. What type is this? A man or a woman would intentionally make their partner look like they are going crazy.
Okay. They look like a psychopath or something.
Yes, make their partner feel, tell the world, everybody begin to look at the woman or the man as somebody who is not okay. So even if you come out and say, I am going through this, because he has already given the impression, or she has already given the impression that you are not well upstairs, nobody will believe you.
That's the worst type of abuse. That's the worst type.
I met a woman of recent, and she was telling me, my husband sleeps with all my house helps. My husband sleeps with all my house helps. And then I went, as a pastor, I cautioned the man, like, what's going on? The man said me, never. That's never happened.
Crazy.
Yes. Say that woman has been sick. She has been sick for long. She takes a lot of medication. And then from the research, we discovered those medication messes with the person's brain. That, the woman is not well. Those medications has affected her. So I said to this woman, I said, okay, now we've gone beyond accusation. We need to get proof. So he tried it with the next house help, and we told the girl, agree. The moment he started asking the girl out, we told the girl, agree. The girl agreed. he fixed a time when he's going to take the girl to a hotel. The girl told the mama the hotel and every place where they would be. And then 4 women showed up in the hotel. They took pictures of him and everything. And then this woman now came back to all the family members and everybody that this guy has been telling, you know, that, oh, the drugs have gone into her head and she's going crazy. You know, she came back and presented pictures and now he's, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because you've been caught, you are sorry. But if we had not counseled the woman to have gone to that extent, we would have continued to believe that, oh, this woman is just a troublemaker, she's going gaga, she's gone bonkers. So that's it's wide.
It's very wide.
The different types, very, very wide. Oh, if you love me, you will sleep with me. It's blackmail.
Yeah.
It's manipulation. If you're dating someone, you're not ready to have sex with them yet. They should never have to make you do it. You must show your love to me. Hello? Since when did sex become love?
My girlfriend in high school said I must kiss him to show love.
Oh. So they do all of those emotional blackmail. Maybe a lady has money. She's okay. Let me not start talking about the causes yet. We'll go there. But we've tried to explain. There was a statistics I also saw online.
Okay.
That shocked me. 2019, in 1 year, 1.6 million women aged between 16 to 74 years suffered abuse. Some form of abuse.
Women.
Only women. And these are the cases that were reported.
What about those that were
The ones
reported?
that are not.
Are they public?
Because there are a whole lot of women who are going through. I remember when mine started, I was too ashamed to tell anyone. You know, I'm a pastor's daughter. I was brought up in a godly home. Me and my husband are Christians. We are believers. How can I even go and tell somebody my husband slapped me? In fact, one of the days, my father saw me with a black eye. And then he asked me what happened to me. I lied.
He fell down.
No, I said it was the cupboard. That I was opening my wardrobe and then the other part of the wardrobe hit my face. Because I could not bring myself to even say it. Listen to me. One of the worst things you can do to yourself is to keep quiet.
Speak up.
Because it's going to continue. Okay, let's talk about some of the causes. Before we begin to talk about solutions and what you need to do, let's talk about the causes. What are some of the things that causes this abuse? And let's merge these causes with signs. Remember, like we're saying now, some people might not even know that this is abuse, especially the psychological ones. They do it softly. When it begins to speak down on you, talk down on you, make you feel worthless, like you don't know how to do nothing, you know. And a particular lady that's telling me currently, that's my problem with my husband. Everything is wrong in his eyes. Everything I do is bad. As long as I'm the one doing it. If someone else comes and does that same thing, my husband will praise it. But once I am the one doing it, oh, you did not do it well. Is this how to do this? You don't know how to dress. You look ugly. You are fat. You are this. Once you begin to hear those kind of languages, for me, that's already a sign something is wrong. Because I mean, even if you are adding weight, there's a way to say it. If as a husband, you want your wife to lose weight,
Let's work out together.
let's work out together. If as a woman, you want your husband's big tummy to
become six pack.
to become, you know, there's a way to work with him and, you know, plan with him, exercise, change his diet, help him to lose the instead of always making him feel like, hey, are you 9 months pregnant? Yeah, you look fat. I like all those men. And then, you know, we women, we are very stylish about it. You now wait until today you see one actor on the TV that is looking very handsome. Hey, I wish my husband was this hot. And then you're making the man feel bad. Emotionally gets into his head. He feels he's not enough. She begins to feel she's not enough. So what are some of the signs? What are some of the causes? Let's talk about them.
I think from when you start dating someone, let's start there because that's where it starts from.
Yes,
like you said, Mama, if this person starts giving you some bad vibes, you know, let me say it in a youthful way, some bad vibes. You know, bad vibes in the sense that you do something small and you exaggerate it as if you killed someone.
Yeah.
But it's something small I did now. Let's talk about it or something. And it's like, no, I don't want to talk about it. Or it's vexing. But at that time, anger issues.
Yeah.
You need to start. Or when they are angry. I've been in a relationship where when the guy was angry, he will punch wall. I say, hey, there won't be wall. When there's no wall, you become the wall. I beg. So I think those little things, we should be watching it. If he's angry, he kicks something, he punch wall, all those things. Or he abuse you with words. You should start watching it from there. By that time, if it's something you cannot fix, that is why it's important for me. It is important to always have someone you talk to. Mama in church, someone that you know that the person has sense.
A mentor.
And a mentor, and the person is in line with the word of God as well. Because there's some people that will tell you, just stay, you safe. What did you do? It's because of the way you spoke to him. There are different ways of this thing. So there are little things like that. You should just please, I cannot handle this.
Take it, yes.
I feel for me that's it, based on my experience.
You're very correct.
Alright.
You're very correct.
Cannot.
You're very correct. Yeah, some of the causes now.
Yeah, there are quite a lot. I'm even thinking of which one to bring now. Another cause is just like she also said, I think early signs. Some people that are brought up in an abusive home. So it becomes not like it's normal, like they like it. They might not like it. But because a child does what they see. So they grow up with that. It sort of becomes normal. My father used to beat my mother. So now, I've had an experience with this. One of my sister's friend, she was married. She also divorced. The husband used to beat her up for no reason. Like, you even go when they're drinking with his friends, you say, today I'm going to drink because this lady is going to feel me today. The friends will be like, what is this? He's just drinking so that, he can have that courage to beat up the wife.
Wow.
And then because the lady, she's very calm. She's a very calm person. The guy will abuse and insult and she never says anything. And that would anger the guy. Why are you not answering me? Why are you not answering me? It's like, oh, you think you'll be happy while my mother used to cry all the time. And he would say continuously. He said, how can you be?
So why would you be happy?
How can you be happy in your marriage while my mother used to cry?
Why should be punished for what she never knew?
Oh, and you say it continuously and continuously. This woman, she said, she went to her auntie because she was brought up by her aunts. Aunts, I'm going to die in this house. Auntie says, go and, African and Christian, pray. I thought your husband is going to come around and just, be a good woman if you are good and what. She's a very calm person. She doesn't insult her husband. She doesn't answer. She doesn't anything. She's a very calm person. So there's no way she's even caused anything. The guy will always continuously tell her that, why should you be happy? So if everything is fine, she just says, no, get out of my house. And you even wait for the time where to chase her. Like, it has to be dark. Maybe around 10 or 11.
That's the time drunkards come home.
He says, leave my house. Go and leave the child. And the child will be crying. Because they had a child. The child will be crying. Say, go. You just wait for that time where you know that she can't walk anywhere alone. So she'll chase out of the house without clothes, without anything. And sometimes she say, no, you must sleep on the floor. And you wait for winter. It must be winter time. Sleep on the floor. And then take all the blankets. She'll use that African wrapper, right? To cover herself. You put water on the wrapper. And she's sleeping on the floor on winter time.
That's just pure wickedness.
So for like this guy, he grew up in a home like that. His mother was abused, like abused. He was angry. He grew up with that anger that my mother was abused.
That is the major challenge that we have with men who abuse women and women who abuse men. It always begins with a family root, unfortunately. Unfortunately, this is why, if it's possible, please, as a man, don't ever do it. As a woman, don't ever do it. I always say that my fear is always the repercussion for our children. You can't take it away from them. That emotional. I met a guy one time who said to me, a woman can never shout at me. My mom used to shout at my father. She bossed him around. She controlled him. A woman will never control me. I'll never be in a relationship where a woman will control me. Coming into a relationship already, the day the woman will just say one thing,
It's as if she's controlling you.
he's going to overreact. He's going to conclude, oh, she wants to control me. She wants to make me feel like my father felt worthless before my mom. So we must be very conscious of it. In fact, scientifically proven, statistically, 90% of men who beat their wives come from home where their fathers beat their mothers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
90%, apart from those who just pick it up as a habit on the streets. 90% of men who are doing it because they saw their father doing it, they saw their mother doing it, and they feel that is how relationship should be. No, I like the fact that Hannah started from relationship. You're cutting a bro, he's already slapping you.
I know.
And you are still there. When
Begging and
Sister.
marriage.
what will I used to call you now? I'm begging you in the name of Almighty God. Run. 1 million broken relationship is better than one broken marriage.
Yes.
True.
Don't wait until they kill you. Don't wait until they set fire on you. Don't wait until they chop into pieces and put you inside the dustbin bag.
Hey.
We will still come to those who are married because that is a little more complicated. But for you, I remember a lady told me, hey, Mama, I can't marry this bro. And me, I saw two of them as a very fantastic pair. At the point, I felt the lady was rude or proud. So I called her, come and see me. She came to me. Hey, come, what's wrong with you? Don't you want to marry? We have been praying. God has brought a bro. And then she said, Mama. I'm like, what happened? He said, I went to his shop. This guy has a shop. I went to his shop and then he had a problem with his neighbor. Another fellow guy who is selling on the same line with him. And then while I was sitting down there, I heard them raising voices. So I came out and I said, calm down, like trying to calm my guy down. So my guy got angry, came back into the shop to meet me and told me that in my life.
Hey. Signs.
And then when I was trying to say, no, what did I say? And I was just trying to calm you. Bam! He gave me a good slap. So that was the day I decided, Mama, I will not marry him. I said, my darling, God bless you for that decision. God bless you. You're a blessed daughter. I'm proud of you. Please go home. God will bring your husband. Your husband has Today she's married. She has her own child. She's at peace. That guy is not your last bus stop.
At all.
That lady is not your last bus stop. Stop deceiving yourself. If I break out of this relationship, maybe I won't get someone else. No. If it is not perfect, if it is not good, it's not of God.
Yes.
Every good and perfect gift, the Bible says, comes from the Lord.
Yes.
If he's going to be kicking you, he's going to be slapping you, even if he's buying you car. Because that's another problem some ladies have.
Oh, that's another cause.
After slapping you, he will go and buy gifts. Buy you jewelry. He bring money.
Flowers.
So you smile. Please, did that flower remove the pain of the slap? Did he remove the broken hand?
Did he remove the future?
Did he remove the broken leg? You are playing with death. You are playing with death. And the car cannot save your life.
Yes, sir.
The jewelries cannot save your life. Whatever the gift, whatever it is, he's paying my rent. It doesn't mean he owns you.
No.
You're dealing with a jealous lover. He says it's because he loves me now.
That one's another one.
I think we're going to continue this topic
That
next
one,
week.
no.
If we come into this, we will not finish it now. Jealous lovers,
They can kill you.
They say, but if you don't love, if you love someone, you must be jealous about them.
Yes.
There's a limit.
Don't be
You are
obsessed.
dating someone, but you cannot say hello to another person.
Yes.
You're dating someone, you cannot have a male colleague who calls you and say, hello, how are you? Who called you?
Why is he
Let me see your
calling?
phone. Why did they call you?
breaks
Bring
the
that phone. Oh,
And
Jesus.
next thing,
After
slept.
all, he bought it.
Hey,
He
and buy
breaks,
you a new phone.
he breaks the phone. After all, I bought the phone now.
And you buy you a new phone to show
When you are
can
sleeping,
afford.
let me tell you, women who do it is abuse. The husband is sleeping. You gotta carry his hand and come and put on.
I saw
So that you can. It's abuse. What are you
It's
looking
abuse.
for? Yes.
Hey.
What are you looking for?
No, I don't do it, but I'm just saying.
welcome back, everyone, from that video. I hope you picked a few things. It's loaded here, very heavy. Very heavy. By the way, that was how conversations started when we just started. We used to have.
That would have been the second episode.
Yeah, a second episode. Then we used to call it True Talk, but now it's Conversations with the Love Crusader. Anyway, so from the video, we tried to talk about types and causes of domestic abuse, and like I said at the beginning, we're actually focusing more on men, you know, the kind of abuse that men go through, and the need, you know, like what it was said in the video, for men to speak up, because a lot of them are dying in silence because of ego. So I think we should begin the conversation from there. Do you agree that, you know, men are going through abuse and a lot of them are quiet about it?
Okay, thank you for having me, and good evening, viewers. I want to start by saying, making this statement. It's very important that we understand that times are changing, and like we say in our local parlance, what is not good is not good. There shouldn't be any reason why, as a man or a woman, you should lay your hands on your partner or anybody. We may have made those mistakes, you know, in time past as a result of lack of exposure or what we saw or culture. We are not going to make excuse for anybody. What is wrong is wrong. Nobody on any account should lay hands on anybody. Just this week, I had a series of encounters where I have had to counsel people myself on the need for us to refrain from touching anyone, whether your children, whether your partner. They should not, don't hit anyone. It is not allowed. And having said that, statistically here in the United Kingdom, and by the statistics that is provided by Mankind Initiative, I've got a helpline where they take calls, you know, they treat issues of abuse centering mainly on men and women as well. And it says that 1 in 6 or 7 men are victims of domestic abuse. That equals 699,000 men. This statistic is for 2021-2022, which means it's quite recent. And that of all these men that have suffered this abuse, you know, 66% of them have been going through abuse before that time they made that call and have never said it to anyone. So it is not common to find men complaining that they are being abused, you know, by their partners because of ego, because of their pride. You know, they don't want fellow men to laugh at them, to say, how can you allow a woman to abuse you? But these things are going on. They are going on in forms of verbal abuse, physical abuse, gaslighting. They're going, you know, they are just even financial abuse. There are women who just get all the money from the husband and leave them empty-handed. Now, whatever forms of abuse that you are going through as a man, you need to speak up. You know, I'm going to start, I'll just tell you this story. It's quite funny. Back home, there's a military man who used to be abused by his wife. And funny enough, what happened is that you will be wondering, this military man has got military training. He must be very strong. He's able to deal with the wife. But the wife, you know, has been crying every time you hear them. He's killing me, oh, he's killing me, oh, help, oh, help, oh, help, oh. And family people will rush into the house, and the woman will be on the floor crying. The man himself is on the floor. So nobody now knows what's going on. But one of the days, unfortunately for her, she was shouting, help, oh, help, oh, help, oh, he's killing me. Oh. And somebody was by her door and quickly came into the house. Unfortunately for her, the door was not locked. Came in and found the woman on top of the man, heavily beating this military man, seriously. And she was the one beating him and shouting, help, oh, help, oh, help, oh. And that became a big issue in the barracks, because the man at that point was able to open up to say, this has been the issue. I've been severely abused by this woman. And she turns around to shout, help, oh, all the time. And I want to conclude by saying, put your ego aside and look for help. Shout for help. Because if you don't, you will die. You might be killed. You might be stabbed. And when that happens, there will be no help for you. So keep your ego aside. Statistically, it's been told us that 66% of men who has been abused have never at any time complained, either to government or to friends or family. They are too ashamed to say that. Keep your ego aside. Talk to somebody about what you're going through. And once again, happy Father's Day to every father out there.
Fantastic. Okay, Titi, let's try to get a balanced view here. Is it really a case of the women are the ones shouting wolf, and they are the ones shouting more and the one crying more? Or is it okay? We don't want to say who is doing it more. We're not trying to do a comparison, but is that really the picture? Is it made, like when we talk about the moment you mention domestic abuse, people's head go to, okay, a woman
Women.
abused. Hey, so why do people do that? Is it because women are the one who actually cry more? Like he was saying now, this woman is beating the husband. Yes, she's the one crying. Is it just because of that, or is it because also men are not speaking? Why does it look like? Because this statistics one just gave now is a shocking one even to myself, to say I know men are going through abuse, but I didn't know it was that much. So what do you think?
Well, I think it's just the same thing, just like every other thing. Today we're having the conversation about if today were Mother's Day, we would have been singing it since like 2 weeks ago, So it's just the same thing. Women are more vocal at these things and about anything really. And it has something, aside from the ego thing, it has something to do with upbringing. And it's not just an African thing. It's a man thing all over the world. It's a man thing. So the woman has, even the society helps to form the woman in that way. Talk about it, say it, and the man, you're a man, you should be strong, you should be able to provide for your family, you should be able to be there and just take all the heat. So the society, upbringing, belief system, everything is just helping to shape the man in such a way that he's not able to speak out. Then let's not talk about the ego thing that he has to battle with. Sometimes I feel for the men because they just find themselves in a world where you're supposed to be man, but that is changing gradually. That is changing gradually. But it's kind of slow. It is. Look at the statistics, 66%. When he was talking about those statistics, I was just thinking in my mind, that is the ones we know. Those are the ones we know. What of the ones we don't even know about? So just like any other thing, even spiritual, when it comes to church matters, when it comes to gatherings, the women are the ones that they are used to it. They will shout the matter like it is one. So that's just the way it is. But I believe that things are changing gradually. It's kind of slow though, but I do have a question to ask Pastor when you're
Yes,
done.
definitely. Ask your question. I think also what contributes to it is the maybe brutal nature of some of the abuse that men perpetrate on women. So, because men are physically stronger, most cases women come out of a physical altercation or a physical violence battered, injured, or more than a man, so to speak. And because of that, society formed this protective cover, around the woman. And I mean, it's not too long ago that references and there's what I'm trying to increase in talking about what's going on with emotional and psychological abuse came to the fore. Usually it was the physical attention, so the attention was more on the physical, and in the physical the woman seemed to be more so on the receiving end than a man. And I think that's what has made society to look at it more of, okay, it is a woman. Once there's abuse, it is a woman. How you go say, how can I mean? So a man said he went to the police station and told them, see my head, my wife broke my head. And the police said, they shame,
Yeah.
in our local parlance. So what are you coming? You're coming here to report your wife to us. You want us to go and help you beat your wife? And so
But if it were a woman, the response would have been different.
definitely, therefore, sis.
And that's where the problem is, that imbalance, in that relationship, because the woman is seen as a weaker vessel and tend to, get solidarity, get support when things like this happen. But that does not infer that men are not abused. For instance, I met a man recently, and that man was in an abusive relationship that later even led to the wife left him, and that became the worst. He was willing to continue to endure the abuse, but the moment the wife left, the moment the abuser left him, that should have been freedom for him, he went into a mental problem because he could not stay without the woman. Sometimes men want to stay in an abusive relationship because they may have been in love with their partner and they are hoping that one day things will turn around.
But wait, is that healthy love?
It is not healthy, I must say. It is not healthy. I would not encourage anyone for whatever reason to continue. This week was just a week of counseling for me. I was very busy with counseling. And I remember saying to someone, when they asked me a very difficult question, as pastors, they try to put you on the spotlight. I remember giving a young man an advice, and I told him the truth theologically and what the Bible implies. And he took it the other way around. And so I've learned to be more careful when I'm giving advices so that I don't give you a leeway to do what is wrong. And so I said to that person, I'm not going to tell you now to give credence to divorce, but there are two ways that I may have to allow that happen, or that the Bible allows for it. One is if there are issues of adultery. And when life is being threatened, nobody will sit down and watch you point a gun and say, oh, just shoot me if you want to shoot me. Now, if there's abuse in a relationship, which becomes very unhealthy, that you can take such decisive actions. And when there's, physical abuse or whatever kind of abuse, So what I'm saying in effect is that men tend to want to manage the situation, max it, and sit down there and wait until things get too bad. But a lot of men don't want to be divorced. Women, they could do with it, but most men don't want to. I don't know why, but it could be an ego thing as well. Yeah.
I think it's not just an ego thing. It's also because most men, when they come into marriage, become a bit dependent. There's this codependency on the woman to care for them and and nurture them, especially if the woman is a nurturing person. So they don't want to lose that nurture. The kind of nurture some of them get maybe like from their mom. They want that care to still continue. Anyways, that's topic for another day. But we're just saying, Titi, we're not hearing you. Check your sound, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that as he grows older, he won't want to lose that
and be
system
alone
that he has created for himself.
Yes. Okay, I'll allow you ask a question before I move on to the next conversation point I want us to raise.
Okay, so my question is about, because we keep talking about the ego thing for the man, is because of his ego, he's a man. So what can be done about that ego thing? He's being abused, he's experiencing abuse, and he's finding it difficult to talk about it because of his ego. What are the practical things that can be done that a man can do, not can be done for him, that a man can do when it comes to that ego thing? Because
before my husband answer that, let me even add to it. Before we even begin to get to level of abuse, it even begins from level of a man don't want to talk, like you're saying. Men don't want to go for counseling. Men don't want to sit down and have a conversation. They do it as a joke, but this is what's happening. When they say, once a woman say, can we talk? The man's heart begin to palpitate. Why? Why are you afraid of a conversation? Why don't we sit down? Because I have come to understand that sitting down and having a talk, a a proper talk, not a shouting match or a blame game.
Productive one.
Yeah, a productive conversation about a thing usually helps. But we see men, they don't want to go. You couple come to you, or a woman comes to you and make a complaint or whatever, and then you invite the couple for counseling. In most cases, the man don't want to come.
It's still the ego thing.
Is it really just ego? Now you are a man, so give us the perspective. Why are men shying away from talking about what they are going through, talking about what they're experiencing? Because if you don't say it, how will you find help? How will you be helped? I think I helped your question more, Titi. That's Titi's question. How do we help men?
Yeah, I want to say that most men don't like their businesses out there. Let me start by using that word. They don't want their businesses out there, outside. They don't want to be seen as people who have failed or not able to put their families together, and But now, to answer your question, for whatever reason, if you're being abused, keep your ego aside and speak up. There's a campaign that is currently going up. See something, say something. So I also want to add that if you're going through something, say something. It might not be going to a counselor per se, or going to the police, or going to Mankind Initiative, or calling a helpline. It could be a friend. It could be somebody who has got an idea, somebody who can help you, say something that might be, productive, that can help you through your situation. I feel that, to be very honest, most men want to max it, like we said earlier on. They don't want people to know what is happening around them. But don't die in silence. Speak out to someone. You are not reporting your partner, but you're seeking help. I'm one of those people who initially, I really don't have anybody I talk to if there's to be an issue in my family. I don't talk to anyone. But I found out recently, especially, and I'm going to point these few points, is that exposure helps you to come to the place of understanding what you need to do per time. The more I traveled, the more I lived out of my country, the more study I did, I came to realize the importance of communication. Effective communicating your concern and your worries will give you the results that you need. For instance, if you meet a neutral person who is not known to your wife or to yourself, that person will be talking from a point of neutrality and will be able to counsel you guys. And that has helped us. Like you heard, if you listen to that video, you see that we were not this perfect couple that people see us outside. We had our issues. We had our problem. I came from a background, and that affected me as well. But the more I played, the more I studied, the more exposure I had. There are certain things I can no longer do, not because of the law, but because I know that it is not right. And when you come to that understanding where you are exposed, you study, you're receptive to, to communicating your needs to your partner and listening to a counselor, it will help you. Some of the men don't want people knowing their business, but that same business you don't want people to know might become your greatest undoing.
If you don't even want people to know, if you don't want people to know your business, that's the more reason why you should take care of your business.
Absolutely.
Then speak.
Absolutely.
Right? Like have that conversation with your partner,
Absolutely. Because in African traditions and custom, you imagine how it sounds to say a woman beat you. You understand what I'm saying? A woman beat you. But there's no shame in it. There are women, I've seen women who are very strong. There are so many of them. There are women who are into martial art and all of that, taekwondo, karate, and all of that. They go to gym, they are very strong. So if you start to use your masculinity and say, I'm going to suppress this one, she will just floor you. I met a woman who the way she was posing in a mall and say, he was talking to a man, he said, if you come one step more, I will floor you. And the man just went away. And when she left, the woman said to us, I've been taking lessons in jiu-jitsu, something like that. Jiu-jitsu. I can't remember the correct. Is a kind of karate, martial art. He said, I would have just brought him down seamlessly. Now, let's keep our ego down and talk and be ready to find solution. That woman who might be doing all of these things also need counseling. And the only way you can get that counseling is if you talk to someone. Both of you sign up for a class, sign up to see a counselor, sign up to a counselor who is not your friend, who is not family members, who is neutral, because neutrality will help you to get a solution. Sometimes families take side, and believe me, they do.
And I think it's
Yeah.
not just families. It's not just families. I think that's another thing that discourages men from speaking up, is the fact that they are not believed sometimes when they come out and say
Yeah.
it, you know.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, like I'm not focusing much on physical violence when it comes to men, because it's rare. You know, yes, it happens, but it's rare. But there are a lot of psychological and emotional. Some women are very manipulative, downright
Gaslighting.
manipulative, right? A lot of gaslighting, like we heard from that
Mm.
video, that can be going on, giving the impression this man is this or this man is that. A man that is taking care of the family, he's trying, he has this small change. He might not have everything, but he's really doing much. He's caring. The woman is out there telling them, oh, he doesn't do anything for me. He doesn't take care of this.
That's
He
very
doesn't
sad.
this. It's a form of abuse, because you're painting this man in the light that he's not. Or the woman who is forever comparing the husband to someone else.
That's
Hello.
even worse.
I always say it on this show, there's no grass that is green anywhere. Where grass is green is where it is being watered. You know. So there's no need for you to want to compare your husband to, oh, did you not see brother A? You saw brother A. Why did you not marry brother A? And
Yeah,
you chose this
yeah.
one to marry. Since you've married this one, now you have to.
One thing I need to add when we talk about abuse in men, one that is very particular is women's controlling behavior. Now, let me say this, and I wouldn't be apologetic about it, because women, when we say men are the heads of the family, I tell people, I say it is true, but when a woman subtly makes suggestions to
I'm looking at him
Sorry.
now. What's intimidating?
Sorry, you know me, I'm still going to say what I want to say. Women are very controlling, and a lot of women have controlling behaviors, and they don't forcefully do it. It is quite subtle.
Our time is running, but there's something I want to talk about.
Yeah, it's something that they do quietly, and they do it continuously. They keep making suggestions, not that because they want to make suggestions, but it is their own opinion that they want to stand. And these things happen even in the life of our parents, in our own life. We see them, we overlook them, but they are controlling behavior. Sometimes if the man wants to take a decision and it goes wrong, he says, hey, I told you if we had done it this way, it would have been this way, because she didn't take your advice, so to speak. So we need to watch these things because a man doesn't want to be controlled. He wants to be suggested to. He wants you to be part of his life. He wants you to be part of the planning. But don't make it a habit that it must be your idea that has to work.
It has to be your way or
It
the
has
highway.
to be your way or the highway.
So
and
that
that's
is
the problem.
also another form of abuse.
Most men don't like that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Time is really running now. And two things I want to raise, because in that video, the last part, I was saying to my husband, the reason I allowed the video play that long is because I raised that issue of, women who are always going through a man's phone. Or they are always, where is he? People think it's only men that do it. Women do it. Where are you? Who are you talking to now? Why did you greet that girl? And when we went to that wedding yesterday, one girl was smiling at you. Why were you smiling back? All those are, like he said, controlling behavior and behaviors that are abusive. The last one, which is a major one, which I also want us to talk about, is the sexual abuse. We often ask, can rape happen in a marriage? Can a husband rape the wife? Yes. Can a wife rape the husband? 1, 2. Can a wife use sex as a controlling? Oh yeah. That's abuse. Is that abuse or not? When you now withhold sex because you are not happy, or you have not done one thing you said, or because you have not, then you withhold the sex. Isn't that another form of abuse, the one that women do to men, and men don't want to come out and say it?
I think that is the biggest abuse on this.
I'm the men's advocate here today. Men's advocate.
That's the biggest abuse that men go through, because a man, like you rightly know, wants to come back home to a warm embrace, wants to have sexual intercourse, at whatever frequency he wants. Some men want it all the time. Women do not want it all the time. Some women even want it more than the men. It depends on who you marry. If you're lucky to have that one that wants it all the time, lucky you, you're the lucky few. Now, having said that, women use sex as a huge weapon on the man. Now, I've seen men who have made promises of cars, buying a house, and all of that just to get sex. These things happen. And I feel very strongly that it is the biggest abuse in this room as we discuss. And women should not use that as a weapon. Now, without having to lend credence to infidelity and all of that, one of the things that has pushed most men out of their marriages is the inability to get sexual intercourse in their marriage, is their inability to find love, to be able to get that sex they want, because a man is fashioned in such a way that he wants to have sex when he wants it. A woman might not want it all the time, but I want to beg, as many women that might be listening, try to help this man to be loyal to you. It helps him. And in our discourse as men, this has come up severally, to say my wife doesn't give me sex. There's always complaint. Is either I'm sick or I'm tired, or we just had it yesterday. Nobody said because you had it yesterday, we cannot have it today again. You understand? So make it a point of
oh my goodness.
Don't laugh about this, please. This is a very important issue, because it's for me, I believe that sex is a lubricant in any marriage. I don't know about anybody's home, but it's something that helps. The more frequent you have, the frequent you have it, the better for you. So don't deny your husband or your partner sex for whatever reason. It might not be convenient for you. You might not want it at that material time, but just do it. Even if you don't want to, just do it. Let the man get his cut his show and go. Peace is priceless. That's what I tell people. So if you ask me 1 million times, I will tell you that women use sex as a weapon, and it's an abuse in its sense, because
I think Titi, you've already agreed with him now. Do you have any counter claim to this?
Oh yeah, I agreed. I just wanted to ask, when it comes to the sex, is it this, because we've talked about controlling behavior and sex. So which one happens more from the women? Which one is more, and how do men weigh these things? Control.
I want to say that that the sex part is also a controlling behavior, because for instance, the woman can tell you, no, I need a shop, I need this, I can't be giving you this thing without getting anything in return. That's very wrong. You're not on the high street where a man has picked you. You are a wife, and you have to understand the differences in these things.
It's not a negotiating
It's not
tool.
a negotiating tool. It should not be a negotiating tool to say, if you don't do this, I won't do that. Because there's a preacher who once said, look, was talking to women in a conference and said, this thing that you are denying your husband can be found on the high street. And truthfully, that's so. So with the women. The women can also find these things anywhere. But we are people, once you're married, you have a contract to keep. And the best thing you can do is to satisfy your partner. They meet people in the office, both men and women meet people in the office, in the malls, at bus stop, in marketplaces, in so many other places. You don't want your partner to be exposed to these things outside. I believe that a man that is well fed, that is well satisfied sexually, will be faithful if he wants to be faithful. I'm going to put that caveat there. So if you ask me 1 million times, I will say women use sex as a controlling behavior.
All right. I didn't expect this conversation to be this long and deep. Time is already against us. I just wanted to also raise awareness as per men and what they go through in abuse. Because when we talk about abuse, like we've said here severally, most times people just, is the woman, is the woman, is the woman, is the woman, the woman is the victim, the woman is the victim. But sometimes, and like it has been statistically proven, many men are also victims of domestic abuse. And so as a man out there, if we can give you anything today on this Father's Day, is to encourage you to speak up. In fact, don't wait until the abuse get out of hand. Speak, talk to someone, have a conversation. Don't keep it within yourself and just, die early from stress or from pressure. It doesn't make you less of a man when you come out and say, this is what I'm going through. I need help. Every one of us need help. Everyone needs help. And we should be able to seek that help and, take the help that has been given to us. No one was created an island. It doesn't mean that you have failed. In fact, not speaking out and maybe the marriage failing in the long run is still going to happen, because I mean, for how long and for how would you be able to take the abuse for a lifetime? Will you be able to live a lifetime of abuse, stay in an unhappy relationship? So as a man, please speak up, speak out. And yes, even on this platform, Men Fences, we are open to welcoming a man. If you have a challenge, talk to us. We can signpost you, to where you need to go to and who you need to talk to. I don't want to hold us here for too long. You have a question, you have an issue, please send in your question. Like I said, next Sunday is our Love and Question Sunday, and we will deal with your issue. There is a WhatsApp number that is attached to our Facebook page, and you can always send in your comment and your question to the WhatsApp number, and it will come to us directly. Yeah, so I want to thank my husband for coming on the show. There's something we are told theologically in church. They say the way you know that somebody has repented of a sin is when they can say, the things I used to do, I do them no more. When they can talk about it, and so I may have been a bit skeptical bringing him in to talk about this, but I'm very grateful to God for our journey and the testimony that we have become, because so many people have not been able to get over an abusive relationship and still remain in the relationship and still be able to build and even remain in love after all of that has happened. But God has given us this grace, and it's because he wants us to be able to help you. That's why we are here to help you. We can help you because we know what you're going through. We've been there, and God's mercy took us out of it. So we have repented. We are no longer there. And that is why we can talk to you about it today. We're not saying we are perfect. It's not perfect anywhere. There's no perfection anywhere. But we're still a work in progress, and God is working. And one of the major things that has helped us is counseling. So I recommend it for you.
I recommend it as well.
Don't keep quiet. Don't keep quiet. Don't die in that situation. It can be mended. I keep saying it. That's why the name is Men Fences. It can be mended. Before you throw the relationship away, before you just forget about that man, before you forget about that woman, and start to look for another one to start with, because there's no other perfect one there. You will get another woman and she'll have her own problem. Might not be the same problem with the first one. You get another man, he will also have his own issues. No one is perfect out there. So work with what God has given you, and let's help you. Let's counsel you. Let's work with you to have a healthy and beautiful relationship. Happy Father's Day again to all the fathers out there. Thank you, Titi, for always being here. I truly appreciate you, and I don't take it for granted. God will make all of us perfect, and we'll all continue to live a life of testimony in Jesus' name. All right, everyone, thank you so much for coming in. And remember, you can watch this podcast even after we've gone off the air. They are there on YouTube at Men Fences TV, on Facebook at Men Fences. It's also on my personal profile on LinkedIn. Feel free to share with your friends. Go join us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, and the learning continues all week. The learning continues all week. All right. Until we come again next week, have a love-filled week, everyone. God bless you.